Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 56 of Your Birth Bestie podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about your baby's movements in your belly, what is normal, why it matters, how to do kick counts if you've heard of those before, and also encouraging moms to seek medical care if they are maybe concerned or just need some extra reassurance about how their baby is moving. As our babies grow and we get more familiar with their patterns of movement, it can really tell us a lot about how they are doing, and I wanted to share more information about that today. Hey there, I'm Beth Connors, a midwife and mom of two, but also your birth bestie. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into everything you need to feel confident, prepared, and in control, from baby bump to delivery room, from practical tips to personal stories. We'll cover it all so you know exactly what to expect every step of the way. Let's get into it. So let's first talk about what actually are fetal kick counts if you haven't heard of this term before. And these are actually something that are essentially a way for expectant parents to monitor their baby's movements while they are still inside of your belly. And these movements can be kicks or punches, rolls, jabs, all of those different movements that baby is doing. And every baby is a little bit different in their movement patterns. These movements are actually really significant because they can be indicators of how well your baby is doing in the womb. And when your baby moves, it signals that they are active and healthy. And then by monitoring these movements, it really helps us understand baby's pattern of activity and then even potentially detecting any changes that might indicate that there might be something going on. And it's typically recommended to start monitoring or doing these kick counts at around 20 weeks of pregnancy because this is when your baby tends to establish a regular pattern of movement and can also make it easier for you to track them and be sure that they are doing well. Every baby, though, is completely different, so you might notice more regular movement patterns earlier or later than 28 weeks, and that could be completely normal for your baby and for your pregnancy. Really, the purpose of tracking these fetal kick counts isn't to add another thing to your list of worries as a mom that, just comes with being pregnant and anticipating having a new baby or having another baby. It is really to empower you with knowledge about your baby's health by keeping tabs on these movements, because the more that you are aware of your baby's habits and maybe the more quickly you can notice if anything seems off from what it usually is. It doesn't mean that you have to do these kick counts every single day. It's just whatever is best for you to get to know what is best for your baby and what is normal for your baby to then have an indicator of when something might be off. So some people like to do this every day. Some people, will just keep an eye or, mentally make note of when their baby is moving. And then if they are distracted during the day and maybe haven't felt baby move as much, they might, resort to focusing a little bit more and doing these kick counts, but it's not something you need to stress about finding time for every single day necessarily, unless it's something that you have already discussed with your provider. If you do ever notice a significant decrease in your baby's movements, or if something just doesn't feel right, like something has changed, but you aren't sure what or why, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to your healthcare provider to voice those concerns, because your intuition as a parent is incredibly valuable, and there are people that will support you every step of the way in ensuring that the health of both you and your baby is priority. So that means too that if someone isn't believing you, or your gut says something is off, or if it's the other way around and you are told to be concerned about something, but you're feeling great and baby seems to be moving and doing things normally, getting a second opinion doesn't hurt at all. It is about being sure that you are heard and respected in your care and that you and your baby are well cared for. And of course, that also means that they want you to have the best possible outcome, even if it is just for reassurance. You should never feel like you are a burden going in to check on your health or the health of your baby, because that peace of mind can absolutely make a huge difference in your entire experience. And let's talk about actually doing the fetal kick count, what that entails. So first you want to find a comfy spot where you can actually focus on your baby's movements. So you can either sit in a chair, lie on the couch, or prop yourself up with some pillows in bed, whatever works best for you and how you're comfortable. And then when it comes time to do the fetal kick counts and to time them, the best time of the day to do a kick count is usually after eating a meal or when you are feeling relaxed and your baby tends to be more active because you're more in tune with that. So grab a snack, maybe something with a bit of natural sugar to give baby a little bit of a boost, and then find a comfortable spot to do this. If you do daily kick counts, aiming for about the same time each day is also a bonus in order to make the best comparison day by day. This is the time now to start counting the kicks, and the goal here is to have about or at least 10 movements within about an hour. And some guidelines will say 10 movements within 2 hours, so at least 10 movements within about an hour or two. And as you feel each movement, make a note of it by either, jotting it down with a pen and paper. There are pregnancy apps, or just keeping track in your head too. Sometimes it doesn't even take near an hour at all, sometimes even like 10 or 20 minutes. That is all completely normal. So it's all a guideline, and you will learn what is best for your baby or what's normal for your baby. This is not supposed to be complicated or stressful at all. And there is also an app called Count the Kicks, and that can be just downloaded on your phone and is one of those pregnancy apps that I recommend if it's needed for clients. Every baby does have their own unique movement patterns, and really the important thing here to remember is that you're getting to know your baby's habits and what feels normal for them. Then if there are sudden changes in your baby's movements, this could be a possible sign that your baby maybe isn't getting enough oxygen or nutrients, or it might be an indication that they are in distress. There is also a common misconception that I wanted to talk about, that people think babies slow down their movements as they get bigger and as they run out of space in the womb, which can make sense logically, but it is not good advice to go by. It is true that their movements might feel different as they grow and they run out of room, but they still should be just as active, even if those movements feel a little bit different or a little less intense than before. If you ever have any concerns at all or notice a significant decrease in movement, again, do not hesitate to reach out to your doctor, like I mentioned before. And then if you are looking for reassuring signs that baby is doing well, there are also a few different things that you can do to increase those fetal movements and just have that reassurance that baby is responding and doing well and being active. Things like staying hydrated, eating a snack with a little bit of sugar like fruit or yogurt or a small glass of juice can help your baby, start moving. Also, changing positions can help. So if you've been sitting a while, try standing up and moving around. Or maybe if you've been busy and moving around on your feet all day, try to lay down and focus on baby and focus on their movements to be reassured as well. Because sometimes we're just not really paying attention and noticing those movements as much if we are really busy throughout our day. I also think it can be really special to relax and be mindful about your baby while you are pregnant, and using these times to bond with your baby before they are born. You can take some time to connect with your baby, which can then promote more movement and just more reassurance that your baby is doing well. So things like practicing deep breathing exercises, gentle yoga, or simply just lying down and focusing on feeling your baby's movements. This can be really special and is a time for you to just feel really calm and relaxed that has a soothing effect on your baby, encouraging them to just move more freely. I recently experienced this myself a few weeks ago, where I signed up for a breathwork for preparing for birth workshop, and it was an hour of practicing breathing techniques for pregnancy and labor. And honestly, my baby has never moved that much, I swear. I don't know if it was all of those really good deep breaths of all that oxygen that I was getting, or the fact that I was just really still and mindful and noticed literally every single movement, but she was doing backflips at all times, and it was actually uncomfortable at some points with how much she was turning around and flipping around in there. So that was interesting, but it was also a really good experience for me to take time for myself and for my baby and prepare mentally for breath work in labor. So something I definitely recommend as well. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is times that you might feel it is necessary to reach out to your healthcare provider if there are some concerns about your baby's movements. It's completely normal for babies to have periods of increased and also decreased activity, but there are also certain red flags or warning signs that should prompt you to seek medical attention. This is not medical advice to you in your situation specifically, because I don't know your medical history and I'm not your care provider. But a general recommendation is if you notice a significant decrease in your baby's movements, such as not feeling any kicks or movements for several hours, to trust your instincts and don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor right away and get checked out. Other warning signs might include a sudden change in the type of movement that you're feeling, like going from really strong kicks to, barely any movements at all. And I just really want to emphasize the importance of contacting your healthcare provider if you have any concerns about decreased fetal movement, even if you think a trip to the clinic might be a waste of time. If you are concerned, go get checked out, call your provider to see if, what you are finding with your kick counts, if you're doing those, or what your specific situation is. This would be a good idea to maybe be seen. Your healthcare team is there to support you and there to support your baby's health, and they want to hear from you if something doesn't feel right. So don't worry about feeling like you are bothering them or overreacting, because your peace of mind and your baby's well-being are absolutely the top priority for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Birth Bestie podcast today. I want to reassure you that trusting your instincts and seeking help when needed is absolutely the right thing to do. Your intuition as a parent is incredibly powerful, and if something feels off, it's always better to lean into that and to explore what it is that you're actually feeling. So if you ever have any doubts or worries about your baby's movements, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give your provider a call. They should always be available to support you on this journey of pregnancy. And I would also love to be another resource for you as well as you go through this journey. So please connect with me on Instagram at BethConnors_CNM if you haven't already. And I would love to get a message from you that you are a listener of this podcast and hear where you are in your own journey. Thank you so much again for listening, and tune in next Tuesday for another episode. Bye, everyone.